Welcome back to the channel, UFC Fight Fans. So my question for you today is, does Jon Jones need the Tom Aspinall fight? Okay, there are two sides to this equation. You have a whole bunch of people, and they're the same fans that do the same thing when it comes to a Floyd Mayweather or anybody else who's unbeaten in the fighting game, that always think the next guy is going to beat the guy they're hating on. Look, it's a matter of opinion whether or not Aspinall beats Jones, and truth be told, you'll never know unless they fight. But Jon Jones doesn't need the Tom Aspinall fight to cement his legacy as far as the greatest or the second greatest or top five greatest UFC fighters of all time. Jon Jones right now for me is a part-time fighter because this is his first fight in a few years. And he's not a guy, let's be honest, who fights 3, 4, 5 times a year. He's just not that guy. Khamzat Chimaev is that guy. Other people have been that guy. But Jon Jones fights when he feels like fighting, or maybe he fights when he needs money. But truth be told, his talent is far and above that of anyone else who's ever been in the fight game as far as mixed martial artists go. I mean, he breezed through virtually every champion he's fought. He's had a couple of close fights. Dominic Reyes, Gustafsson in the first fight. Fought Gustafsson again, demolished him. Would have done the same thing with Dominic Reyes, who became an irrelevant after the Jones fight and could never, put on a decent performance again. But Jon Jones is a winner. So whether he fights Tom Aspinall or not, he was the greatest light heavyweight of all time, and he just destroyed, mind you, a slightly slower and older Stipe Miocic, but still, he went through him like like a knife goes through butter. He did the same thing to Ciryl Gane, who's a big, huge guy, and in my opinion, would have done the same thing to Francis Ngannou. Ngannou got knocked out by Anthony Joshua like he was nothing, and Jones' stand-up game is excellent. He's just as tall. He has the reach of a 7-footer, literally 84-inch reach, which neither Ngannou or any other heavyweight has that. And he'd beat Francis Ngannou, trust me. Now, Tom Aspinall is much younger, much faster than the other heavyweights, so it would be an interesting fight. I'm the first one to admit it. But I want to make it clear that Jon Jones does not need this fight. And calling him a ducker is ridiculous. The guy has 19 wins in a row in the UFC. One disqualification loss, which was a joke. And then he's out of his 19 wins, I think 17 of them were super dominant. He's making fools out of guys like Stipe and Ciryl Gane and Daniel Cormier. These are top guys that either had fantastic backgrounds in the amateurs as far as wrestlers, strikers, whatever it may be. If they wanted him to fight Israel Adesanya, no disrespect, he would have killed him at light heavyweight. They want him now to fight Alex Pereira, or he wants to fight Alex. There's no fight, because if that fight goes anywhere other than standing up, Alex Pereira will be a dead man within 30 seconds that this fight starts. Tom Aspinall, different story, I agree. But he doesn't owe it to anyone. He doesn't owe it to himself. And if he doesn't feel like fighting him, which I don't think is the case, I'll tell you what I think. I think he's waiting for that $20, $25, $30 million payday. Everybody else is cashing in. Ngannou did. All the boxers do it. So why wouldn't he? So for me, I think Jon Jones is negotiating. First of all, the fight is probably at least a year away because, yes, he's getting older, but no, he's not in a rush to get back in the ring. He just finished, taking care of Stipe. So if it takes a year to build it up and he ends up with a $20, $25 million as his last payday, good on him for playing this game. But he's not ducking. People should stop calling him a ducker. And he doesn't need this fight. It's the 5th time I say it, but it's got to be made clear, to cement his legacy. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree or not. And please be objective, not because you hate the guy or he previously used PEDs and so on and so forth, that you want to see him lose. Does he need this fight, yes or no? Like, comment, subscribe.